Hello and welcome to the Year 4 report for Safe West Sussex. Safe West Sussex is a preventative child sexual exploitation project delivered by Asfalair Action and funded by the National Lottery Community Fund. This year we wanted to do something a little different and create a video report because for most of the year, this is how we've looked. So what is Safe West Sussex? Safe West Sussex supports children and young people aged 10 to 25 who have been identified as being at risk of child sexual exploitation, or CSE, across the county of West Sussex. There are 4 parts to the intervention that we deliver. One-to-one or small group work with young people who have been identified as being at risk of becoming a victim of CSE. One-to-one or small group work with young people who have been identified as being subjects of concern. This means young people who are displaying behaviours that we are concerned may lead to them becoming perpetrators of exploitation without the necessary intervention. Healthy relationships workshops delivered into Year 6 classrooms in schools across West Sussex. One-to-one work, small groups or workshops delivered to parents to enhance their knowledge of CSE, increase their confidence in what they can do to tackle exploitation, and improve their understanding of how to keep their children safe.
We are passionate about the project and the young people that we work with. We're constantly on the lookout for new ways to develop the project and adapt our way of working to ensure the greatest impact on those that we support and the communities that they belong to.
Safe West Sussex remains unique in the locality, being the only preventative exploitation project that runs across West Sussex.
The project is well established within professional networks and communities, including schools and colleges, local councils, the local authority, police and youth offending, Barnardo's, youth centres, health services, residential organisations, charities and adult services. We continue to network our project into services we have not yet had the chance to work alongside, and this year have done so with All Sorts, YARDA and NHS colleagues.
As always, we are keen to develop the project and offer something new to the young people and professionals that we work with. Here are some examples of the developments that we have made this year. We will go into further detail on these points later on in the report, or alternatively, please refer to our written report which will accompany this video. In March 2020, we developed and marketed a new roadshow of Year 6 workshops. These were to include healthy relationships as normal, but to also include information on online safety, consent and boundaries, and well-being and mental health. We worked hard to develop these resources for this aspect of the project. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were unable to go into schools to deliver these. We look forward to being able to offer these to schools now that young people are back in. In March, we also developed a Year 6 to Year 7 transition programme. This is to support vulnerable and concerning young people in their journey from primary schools to secondary school. Unfortunately, this aspect of the project was also unable to be developed further due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which saw schools change the way of working and students remaining at home. This is something we want to pick up again in the next year of the project. Keen to develop our peer mentoring, we worked alongside a former unaccompanied asylum-seeking child and developed a peer-on-peer consent workshop which he delivered to newly arrived asylum-seeking children. We also developed our art drop-in, which saw over 30 young people attend with a regular core number of 17 attending weekly sessions.
As you can imagine, the second half of the year has looked very different. 2020 saw the arrival of COVID-19, and with that saw many changes to the way that we lived, learnt, socialised and work. In March, CSE interventionists were sent home, with a gradual return to the office and face-to-face visits in September. Many of the schools that we visit young people in shut around the same time we were sent home, which meant the way that we worked with our young people had to drastically change.
For most children and young people, this had been the longest stretch of time in their lives away from their friends and their trusted adults who live outside the family home. Parental stresses increased and work delivered by protective services and community groups decreased. Young people with online access spent more time using social media and other online resources, increasing the risk that they may experience online grooming during a period where demand for online child sexual material is known to be on the rise. Studies show that during each week of lockdown, around 350 cases of online child sexual abuse were passed to the police. This is a 10% increase on last year, but we know that the figures, as always, will not reflect the true story. Childline saw an increase of 18% in counselling sessions about sexual abuse, and the NSPCC saw a 32% increase in calls regarding domestic abuse on children. We know that these risks can be mitigated when caregivers, trusted adults, support services and community services protect children and young people. Maintaining our contacts and our sessions with young people on our caseload and new referrals ensure that we are providing an essential lifeline to those young people. Almost immediately, we began offering virtual video sessions on Google Hangout to our existing caseload, and after the success of this, we rolled this out to our new referrals too. Via this method, we started 27 new young people. For some, this was an excellent way to engage. It took a lot of the anxiety and the pressure out of the initial sessions and allowed the young people to engage from their personal and comfortable spaces. For others, it presented a challenge. Some young people preferred to be contacted by phone call only, and some young people and their parents chose to put their sessions on hold until such a time when we were able to offer face-to-face sessions once more. The one-to-one and small group work that we offer to our young people has been and continues to be the most successful area of the project. Small group workshops this year have been delivered into residential homes, Lancing APC, Worthing High, Asphalea Training and Tambridge House. Year 6 workshops have been delivered in classrooms across West Sussex in the first half of the year. In the second half of the year, we maintained contact with Year 6 teachers throughout the pandemic and offered them our support and resources. This year, we had made developments to our parent offer to include evening workshops and assemblies in schools, as this had been successful in Year 3. In the latter 6 months of the year, we have been networking with local parent organisations and online parent groups to offer our support. We have also developed a parent pack of support which outlines what exploitation is, what parents can do to support their children, and signposting to services and other resources that are available to them. We facilitated evening drop-in sessions in a local youth group in Stenning to support them with topics such as relationships and consent. We held regular drop-ins at Asphalea Training Centre in Worthing Town on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening. We piloted a peer-on-peer consent workshop which was delivered by a former unaccompanied asylum-seeking child, now an adult living in West Sussex. This was offered at the end of a series of workshops that we had delivered ourselves and helped us to reinforce the messages of consent and healthy relationships, but from an individual that they could perhaps relate to on a different level. We offered virtual sessions throughout the COVID-19 pandemic using the Google Meet and Google Hangout app. Using the video chatting platform allowed us to continue with our usual structure of sessions, showing videos, showing resources and getting a physical sense of how the young people were doing. Though young people have returned to schools and face-to-face sessions have been resumed by workers, we have found that maintaining our option of virtual communication is an excellent way for us to broaden who we can work with and can take the pressure and the anxiety out of some initial sessions for some young people. We initiated a virtual coffee morning for professionals that we held every Monday for the first couple of months of lockdown to ensure that we maintain contact with our professional network. We created resource videos on topics such as healthy relationships and consent and shared these with parents, schools and other professionals to share with young people. We launched bi-weekly bulletins for our young people in which we shared important information on topics such as well-being and tips for keeping safe, as well as competitions and learning resources. We delivered holiday programmes, virtual in the latter part of the year, and continued to create engaging opportunities for our young people.
Due to the emotional toll that we knew COVID-19 and the lockdown would be having on young people, the CSE interventionist created the Wellbeing Journal. The Wellbeing Journal worked excellently for young people to express how they were feeling emotionally, and also worked as a tool to help young people open up and have difficult conversations around certain topics.
We regularly promote the project across all areas of West Sussex into settings such as schools, local authority teams including early help and leaving care, police, youth offending, residential homes, charities and youth groups. This year we have utilised our social media pages to connect with community facilities, and we have used YouTube to share our resources. We have engaged 110 people via one-to-ones and 31 people via small groups. We have engaged 41 people through our holiday programmes, young people who may not have otherwise been seen over holiday periods. The gender split this year has been 62% male and 38% female. SAFE has always been good at engaging with male young people, something which is not often seen in other services. Throughout lockdown, we maintain contact with our professional network by offering virtual drop-in sessions and continuing to send out support and resources. We ensured that our network knew we were still operating by sending out regular emails, updating our social media and our blog pages. The lead interventionist continues to attend the complex safeguarding missing and exploited operational group, in which children and young people who are being exploited or those who are vulnerable to exploitation are discussed in a multi-agency setting. From this meeting, we have further discussions with the professionals around the child and we seek referrals. We regularly use feedback and what we have learned and share this back to our young people, parents and professionals in a range of ways such as blogs and emails. We use our feedback to shape the design and development of our project. As a team, we meet weekly to discuss progress and any changes we wish to make, and do so by reflecting on local need, statistics, information and feedback. By engaging with the project, we are ensuring that the young people we support are better equipped to make positive choices, better understand the world around them, and are able to better manage their relationships in their world, be it online or in the community. Signposting is a key element of SAFE support. When the time comes to close a case, we ensure that the young person is engaged in something meaningful, meaning we never leave a young person without a support network. This may mean referring to another support service. It may also take the form of engaging with a pastoral lead at school, or it may mean referring them to a service to secure them a more stable future by supporting them to access further education or employment. We have previously gotten young people into community groups such as All Sorts drop-ins and a local Worthing boxing gym. We have also supported our young people to access other vital services such as sexual health and housing support. Our aim is to provide lasting community impact by offering our support to community groups and organisations. We aim to provide awareness-raising training and resources to professionals and parents, and in doing so, raise community awareness and resilience. We regularly share information via multi-agency formats, and we regularly attend training and partake in research to ensure that we have the most up-to-date knowledge. Overall, our project remains successful, and we are happy with our response to our ever-changing society and the outcomes that we continue to achieve throughout the pandemic. We are confident in the work that we deliver and the service that we offer. We have shown that we can be adaptable when faced with unfamiliar circumstances, and the pandemic has shone a spotlight on the essential service that we provide to the most vulnerable in society. We have seen continued success in this area of the project. Alternatives have been made available to young people who struggle with one-to-ones, including small group work and virtual sessions. Whilst we see steady referrals for subjects of concern, we find that their vulnerabilities and risks may lead to difficulties with them engaging or a lack of trust in professionals. This is reflected in our START statistics. We aim to tackle this in Year 5 by actively promoting this area of our project and approaching specific projects that may generate these referrals, such as sexually harmful behaviour specialist projects who we have worked with before. We were unable to deliver as many workshops as we usually do this year due to government restrictions. We did, however, maintain contact with our primary school contacts and have developed a thorough and supportive roadshow of new workshops ready to deliver in Year 5. The majority of parents that we have supported are parents of our young people that we have been working with for some time. This often removes a barrier for parents as they are more likely to accept support from familiar people, and it may seem like less of a judgment or infringement on their parenting skills and family life. For those who were less open to support, we have made developments to our offer to include workshops and most recently our parent information pack, which ensures we are still delivering the important messages which parents are able to digest in a more relaxed group environment and in their own time. We envision the way that we work will continue to face new challenges and adaptations in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are confident in our service and our ability to reach and meet the needs of the most vulnerable in society, even through such events as a pandemic and lockdown. We all live in a different society to the one that we lived in back at the start of the year. Most pertinent to us are increased concerns around young people's well-being, online use and lack of appropriate supervision, increased parental stress and lack of support networks, changes to how community support groups and projects are delivered, and isolation across all age groups, including young people and their parents. During lockdown, we worked with and continue to work with people who experience these factors. We envision that these vulnerabilities will remain for a significant period of time, and the consequences to their well-being, their vulnerabilities, and their relationships will remain once we see the eventual end to this pandemic. Our project is vital in identifying the people who are in need of support and addressing the concerns and vulnerabilities. Considering all of these factors, we will be continuing to offer our support to young people however this may look, be it via one-to-ones and small groups or via online virtual sessions. We will continue to deliver our Year 6 workshops, but this time with online and wellbeing aspects. We will reach out to parent support groups and offer our support and expertise to parents across West Sussex. We will offer training and support, as always, to schools and other professionals, and we will maintain an online presence responding to need and addressing concerns as they arise. Our service will remain a constant source of support in our changing society. We will continue to work within government restrictions, and we will adapt to best fit the needs of the people that we support. Here are some examples of some of the wonderful feedback that we have received this year. Did you meet with your worker face to face or virtually? Both.
We have done, because of the COVID-19 problem, we've done online and face to face in school at points.
Yeah. And what were some of the positives of talking
That
online?
It helped me feel less nervous about talking to Ruby about things, and also sorting out problems if there was any.
Yeah, okay. And what were some of the negatives about virtual sessions?
Talking about some of the challenges that I don't like talking about.
Yeah.
With Ruby, some of them could have been quite hard for me to discuss with Ruby.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so what have you learnt or taken away from being part of SAFE? So having these sessions, what have you learnt about?
I've learnt about being safe online, and also maybe not doing so many inappropriate things, and learning how to use the World Wide Web in a proper and safe way.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Is there anything you would change about your support from your SAFE worker? So that's me. Anything you would change about your support?
No, she's
No,
fine.
you can be
She's
honest.
Really, really good.
You
You're
sure?
Really good, yeah. You're
We get on quite well,
perfect.
don't we?
Yeah,
Aw.
you're perfect. I don't need to change you.
Thank you for watching. For more information, please feel free to contact us using the following options.